Hey guys, what's going on? It's Zain. I wanted to talk about if you are going to represent yourself in court, what all you will need. What all will you need if you are going to represent yourself in court? Now, as I've said before, you generally don't want to represent yourself in court. You want to get legal services. And if you can't get legal services, there's so many organizations and administrative uh, organizations out there that can help you and hook it up with an attorney, right? Nonprofits out there that can help you get an attorney. All kinds of stuff. Your local bar organization can help you get an attorney if you can't afford one. So, if anybody does, by the way, need help getting an attorney or wants to be put in touch with an attorney or needs resources, you can always email me. My email is in the description, and I'll also you can leave a comment and I'll get back to you immediately and let you know where you can get an attorney. I can recommend a lot of sources for you, and I can do all the research for you and let you know where you can get an attorney, right? And now that's up to you to get that attorney, because you always need an attorney if you are going to face some dire legal problems or anything. But let me get into this. If you are going to represent yourself, if you decide you don't really need an attorney, you figure out why get an attorney. This looks like something I can do on my own or something like that. So let me tell you about that. First of all, you're going to need to find a law library. Okay? A law library. Where do you find a law library? I would call your county clerk. Okay? I would call the county clerk's office and ask them where the nearest law library is for you to do legal research. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do. Find a law library. Don't trust everything on the internet. Okay, if you're going to use the internet, don't use websites like LegalZoom or stuff like that, or all these third-party websites that have articles published or stuff like that. I mean, they're good articles, but don't solely trust that. Actually physically get into a law library and figure out where it is. Talk to the clerk, court clerk, the county clerk. Call your county, ask them where the nearest law library is, and get all the details, when they're open, how much is it. It's usually free. The law libraries are free, right? The second thing is, when you go into that library, talk to the individuals working there, okay? Talk to the librarians working there, the law clerks working there, because they'll guide you to the right place for you to do your own legal research. They're very friendly and helpful people. Talk to them and they'll tell you where to go. If you need to access online materials, to ask them what materials to use. Okay? They'll give you materials that are way better than what you've been using, such as LegalZoom and all of these websites that people use. And they get in trouble because these websites aren't always accurate. And these websites usually are free also when you go to a law library. If you're going to use these websites on your own, they're usually going to cost you a lot of money. So when you go to a law library, the services will usually be free. The librarians will guide you and tell you, look, you can use this. These are the keywords you can look up. This is what you can do. So that's the second thing you do. You find a librarian, you talk to the staff, you tell them about your problem, they'll tell you where to go, right? The third thing is, I know everybody has a lawyer in the family, right? Or you have a friend, a coworker, that's a lawyer. You know somebody, right? Maybe your uncle, your great grandfather. Somebody's a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer and see what they recommend. I know most of the time the lawyer is going to tell you to get a lawyer, and that's genuine advice, right? They're going to tell you to get a lawyer, or they're going to guide you to somebody. They're going to refer you to somebody. But tell them, look, I actually want to do this on my own. I feel comfortable doing this on my own, and I can go about it on my own. Do you have any advice I can take? And listen to their advice. This is why you're talking to a lawyer, right? This is why you're going to talk. The third thing is, you're asking the lawyer for his advice. You're not asking the lawyer to represent you, because obviously you've made a decision to represent yourself, pro se. So listen to what that lawyer has to say. Ask them about advice, how the courts work, what court this is going to be in, where to file a lawsuit if you are suing somebody, how to service somebody properly, how to serve them with the court documents properly, right? Even ask them where the court is, what court to file in, because you might not even know what court to file in, right? So get tips from them on how the suit will play out, what your needs are, how this will work. They'll give you advice, right? If it's an adequate lawyer, somebody that's been doing this for a while, somebody you can trust, they'll give you some advice. That's the third thing. The fourth thing is be proactive, right? If you are going to represent yourself, you have to be proactive. Again, these steps are in no particular order of importance. They just all go hand in hand. You have to be proactive. A lot of times you're going to be figuring things out on your own when you're by yourself. If you're, like I said, if you're suing somebody, you're going to have to figure out where to service them, where to get them to know that you sued them. Service process is usually how they know they've been sued, and you have to deliver that depending on your state law, how you're going to let them know they've been sued. You can get a court servicer, a court processor, a sheriff, or a constable to sue them, to service them with process. You can sometimes leave it outside their home. You can mail it certified, a certified copy of it to service them. There's many ways, guys, depending on the state law. So you have to be proactive, do all your due diligence, and figure out how all of this is going to work, right? Figure out what documents you need to file if they do file an answer, if they don't file an answer, if they don't respond to your suit. You got to be proactive, okay? You got to be proactive, because if you miss deadlines, you don't file something appropriately, you don't do something properly, you can mess up your suit. You can actually give away your claim. Sometimes if you don't file your suit in time, you might fluctuate that claim away. That claim might no longer be good because of the statute of limitations. So that's the fourth step. Be proactive. Now, the fifth step, if you are going to do this on your own, is if you're going to go out and do it, is to not worry so much. Okay? If you're going to take the step, why worry? You've already made this decision. You want to do this on your own. You feel comfortable doing it on your own. And you've done adequate research. You've talked to an attorney. You've talked to maybe even somebody that's done this before, like a friend of yours who's telling you, hey, look, I have the same, like a divorce custody matter. I know a lot of women have done some of this stuff on their own rather than get an attorney. A lot of middle-aged women usually tend to do it on their own, and I applaud them for that because they know what they're doing. They actually go in there and follow these steps, right? And then they don't want to get a lawyer because maybe they don't trust the lawyer. Maybe they feel they can do it better themselves. Maybe the money's tight, whatever. But I've seen a lot of middle-aged women sometimes take care of family law matters themselves, and they do a great job. So the fifth thing is, don't worry if you're going to do it on your own. If you've talked to a friend that's done it, you've talked to an attorney, you've taken the steps that I've mentioned, you've done your adequate research, you've talked to the law librarians, talked to a friend, an attorney, you're proactive, and you stop worrying and just let it go. Because if you keep worrying about it, you're not going to get things done. You're going to be so focused on worrying about the outcome that you're without an attorney, that you made the bad decision to go by yourself. And now you're like, oh man, I should have gotten a lawyer. Don't do that. If you've done everything on your own, don't worry about it. Go for it. If in the event you do need a lawyer and you just have this pestering voice in your head, maybe I should have gotten a lawyer, I'm screwing this up on my own, you get a lawyer, right? If you need help, you contact me. Get in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch with a lawyer. I'll try to see if I can find you a lawyer. All right? So guys, if you have any questions, leave a comment and or email me directly. If you have any topics you want me to make a video about, I'll make a video about it. Any interesting topics you guys want to know about. All right? Peace.